Hey guys, MouldyFishSticks here, and in this video I wanted to list the top 20 games. I was going to do 10, but now I upped it to 20 because there were so many other games that I wanted to put on the list that I've had the pleasure of experiencing in 2022. It goes without saying, two things I need to say. One, this is my opinion, okay? I'm really sorry if Stray was your favorite game of 2022, because for me, I'll need to wait until I possibly do top 20 most disappointing games of 2022 to have that game in any kind of list. And then also, second, this list will not include just simple remasters, otherwise The Witcher 3 would win, okay? So it's no fair, but I will include mods if it changes the base game to become a completely different experience, other than, you know, just texture packs and ray tracing. But with that out of the way, let's get right into the countdown of my top 20 games of 2022. Coming in at number 20 is Dinkum. Now I feel like I need to mention this one. This one got a lot of hype when it first came out. It's like Animal Crossing, I guess, but set in Outback Australia. Never played Animal Crossing, so I don't even know if it's a good comparison. However, it was fun. It was good. But the hype train definitely died out after the first month or so it's not higher up on this list. Now on to number 19, Raft. Now this game was free to download in 2016 and then it was early access in 2018. However, its full version was released on the 20th of June 2022. This is why it's here. Raft is actually a tough one to get into, especially by yourself, but if you play with friends, it'll definitely be a lot more fun. The reason why it's so far down this list is because I don't have friends, but this game definitely has a lot of wonder to it. It's a survival type game where you're trying to hook different types of material from your boat to build things, find islands, and at times I truly shocked myself with the islands I stumbled across. And you are always under pressure to do things. You need to eat all the time, and for that you need to get wood all the time. For that you need to get plastic all the time. But yeah, personally got kind of bored after a while. However, this game was really good. Now on to number 18, The Looker. The Looker is a parody of The Witness, and it's a free-to-play game that is just straight up hilarious. There are 55 puzzles, and they're all pretty creative with a lot of funny nooks and crannies for you to find around every corner, and I'm not gonna lie, this is this high up the list for being free. However, I just remember the fun I had the first time playing, and I couldn't leave it out of the top list of this year. But trust me, free game on Steam, download it. This game is funny as fuck. Okay, number 17, Power Wash Simulator. Now, if you're anything like me, you'd be like, what the fuck, Moldy? This shit looks ass. Why is a simulation game in your top 20 games of 2022? And you want to know my explanation? I can't explain why. I honestly can't. It's just one of the most satisfying, dopamine-filled, mind-numbingly great games of this year. I just chill listening to music or a podcast while playing this game and just turn my brain off. Like completely off. I might have drooled a little bit on my... Number 16, Compound VR. This has got to be one of the best VR games I played this year, and it is, because it made it to this list. Compound VR is like a retro boomer shooter meets virtual reality. It's not forgiving at all, and it's actually pretty hard. However, you feel like you want to do better each time. The hub is so fun to mess around in, and the gunplay is very polished and professional. All the while, you're literally in a 1990s themed game in VR. It's just incredible stuff. Now on to number 15, Metal HELLSINGER. Hey, do you like Randy Blythe from Lamb of God? Do you like Tatiana Schmalak from Ginger? Do you like Serge Tankian from System of a Down? Well, guess what? All of these artists actually produced music for this game. I feel like I could end it there and you're already sold, but this fast-paced, action-packed campaign requires every shot, every reload, every melee to be on beat with the music. The thrill is insane. The speed runs are mad. This game is a boatload of fun, and it's it's about like half the cost of any AAA game on Steam. Check out the demo, this is definitely what got a lot of people to pay for this game, and just see how fun this is for yourself. Now on to number 14, LEGO Star Wars SKYWALKER Saga. This was great. This had me feeling all types of nostalgia, seeing as the LEGO Star Wars games were pretty much my childhood. I do wish they kept some maps the same, as some were very similar to the OGs and others just felt off, especially Revenge of the Sith. I remember that final boss battle being like a million times better, but who knows, maybe that's just me being biased. But the gameplay, and more specifically the gunplay, was vastly improved upon. The guns actually felt so great to use, which was amazing. This will provide anyone with a lot of fun regardless of the age group. On to number 13, Levitation. Levitation was one of the most anticipated VR mods of this year, and this is the first mod to showcase on this top 20 list. This provides an extra 4 hours of experience of Half-Life Alyx. It is non-canon, however extremely beautiful and fun. Regardless of a few bugs here and there, this is good enough to literally call itself a proper Half-Life DLC that I'd spend money on. It's really responsive and the map layout is just incredible. I do wish this son of a gun was a little bit longer, because the more I played it, the more and more I liked it. Coming in at number 12, ROLLERDROME. ROLLERDROME is a fast-paced third-person shoot-'em-up in a roller skating arena. I feel like everyone wanted this type of game to happen, and it definitely slapped. The gameplay was incredibly addictive as it's level-based and score-based. However, the premise of this story was actually quite interesting as well. I do wish the keybinds would feel a little bit more natural, because aiming with the mouse felt a million times better, but moving around with the controller felt a million times better. So there wasn't that sweet middle ground for me. However, I still loved the game and had a lot of fun with it. Coming in at number 11, maybe a little bit controversial, but I don't care. Half-Life 2 VR mod. I do view this as a lot more than just a remaster or remake, because this is all the work of a small mod team outside of Valve who made Half-Life 2 playable inside the VR, and this just completely blew me away. This almost feels like a completely different game. The gravity gun, driving mechanics, and rocket launcher all feel completely different. The world is a million times more immersive, obviously. However, this experience was so much different to the OG game that I feel it needed a spot on the list. Now, with all of those out of the way, I'll speak of the honourable mentions right now before getting into the meaty, the juicy top 10 games of 2022. These are honourable mentions of games I either liked or didn't play but heard good things about. Vampire Survivors, Signalis, Slime Rancher 2, Splatoon 3, Bayonetta 3, Potato, Iron Lung, Weed Shop 3, Quaver, A Plague Tale Requiem, The Entropy Center, Dying Light 2, Warhammer 3, Warhammer 40k, Sifu, Shredder's Revenge, and if I'm missing any, you know, I could cope. On to the top 10. Number 10, Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Now I know this might sound confusing to some people who didn't like the game, because I've heard a lot of people didn't like it. However, this game really surprised me. The gameplay itself was fun. It was a Borderlands spin-off. However, the visuals are what I liked the most. I am a sucker for colors. The story is great and the side stories are also fun. However, it doesn't really live up to the Borderlands name, which is a fair enough complaint, and probably the main reason why people disliked it, but I really liked it. I had my fun. Number 9, Cult of the Lamb. People wouldn't shut up about it, so I decided to play it. In Cult of the Lamb, you start your own cult in a land of false prophets. Make people worship you, make people sacrifice themselves for you, and make people eat a bowl of poo-poo. But goddamn, this game's gameplay is where it shines the most, and certainly caught me well off guard. On the one hand, this is part dungeon crawler. You venture out into diverse and mysterious dungeons and fight bosses and save other followers to bring them back and become indoctrinated. On the other hand, it's a village builder where you build shelters, farms, workstations for your followers and spread your word to become the one true cult. These two aspects coincide with each other so well, but the premise and story of this game is also really cool. This is a must get for literally anyone. I can't see why anyone would dislike this game. Number 8. Postal Brain Damaged. This is Boomer Shooter of the Year by far. Caught me off guard is something I'm going to say for a lot of the following games. However, I can't describe my initial feelings better than that towards this game. And the main reason is because this is probably my second favorite Postal game of all time, while it isn't even developed by Running with Scissors, rather developed by Hyperstrange. The way these devs not only took on this project, creating such a fucking fun game, but they actually understood the Postal character really well is something truly special. This is still a very funny game, however it features a very dark and in-depth story about the Postal dude in such a comedic and brilliant way. All of the maps were extremely diverse and designed so well, and the weapon sandbox is one of the best I've seen for a boomer shooter. This game definitely blew me away. Coming in at number 7, get mad, it's Modern Warfare 2. I know, it's a Call of Duty game, but it just doesn't feel right for me not to place this game on my list because I've played an absurd amount of time on this game already. When I was getting my PC repaired, which also took an absurd amount of time, I re-bought this game on the PS5. It's okay, you can laugh. I'm an idiot. But do you want to know what? I didn't regret it at all, and I still don't. Call of Duty will always be my favorite style of multiplayer, and it honestly feels like Infinity Ward just keep on adding so much content to this game. There's the campaign, Spec Ops, DMZ, Warzone 2, and the regular multiplayer modes. But now there's new maps and raids that I haven't even played yet. Hey, 343! 343! Fucking learn something for once, you bunch of lazy fucking spoilt brats. Number 6, Horizon Forbidden West. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I actually haven't finished this game, but I've definitely played enough to give it this high of a rating. This is really something beautiful. I still remember how overshadowed this game was by Elden Ring, and some of the devs even had a little bit of a bitch about it on Twitter, but this game is truly damn beautiful. The world is amazing, and the story is what I expected from a Horizon sequel, but more. I don't have much else to say about it without spoiling it, but it's just great. It's great. Now we're on to the top 5 games of 2022. I want to yet again remind you, this is all entirely subjective. Everyone's top 20, top 10, or top 5 games list will look completely different, and I'm just going based on what I liked personally. But with that out of the way, let's get on to number 5. And what is number 5? Neon White. I'm not gonna lie, the story in this game, I mean, it's okay, it's not the best, but Neon White is the type of game everyone says is addictive, and you're like, yeah, alright, and then you try and beat the high score on a single map for around 4 fucking hours. Neon White's core gameplay is what has it this high on the list. I have never ever played a more enjoyable speedrunning game in my life, and I've never looked at a game's gameplay before and go, huh, okay, and then played it and gone, oh! In Neon White, you use cards which turn into guns to kill monsters while you're dating anime girls and trying to battle to get into heaven. But all that matters is Ruby. You get bronze, silver, gold, and platinum for completing all the levels. Platinums are already hard enough, but boy oh boy, they don't even tell you about the Ruby. To put it simply, each level has a secret way of completing it, then an even more secret way of completing it, but knowing the ins and outs of each level isn't enough for a Ruby. You need to be better than everyone else, more importantly, better than yourself. Your dopamine receptors will fucking hate you for playing this game. I can put this down for weeks, play other things, but the receptors can't handle it. As soon as it sees Neon White in my games library, they will be throbbing, begging for another hit. For what it is, this game is close to a masterpiece. Now on to number 4, high on life. Words can't even describe how happy I am with how well this game turned out. I was expecting a fun and funny adventure, however what I got was so much more than that. This honestly just ticked all the boxes for what I'd want a Rick and Morty type game to be, or even just a game in general to be. It was fucking hilarious. Every corner was just Justin Roiland. However, the thrilling gameplay, the deep story, and creative characters and level design completely blew me away. They went with a simple concept and turned it into something spectacular. I might be biased, but like I said, this game is literally built for me, and if you don't like Rick and Morty or Justin Roiland's style of humor, this won't be a game for you. But if you do, get this right now. Alright, now we're getting into the Freaky 3, the bee's knees of 2022. Number 3. Well, the crux of my existence. The reason why half of you have subscribed. And to those subscribers, it was robbed of being nominated for Game of the Year. And I know you guys are probably like, oh, there's the mod. Why is the Game of the Year? But hey, if Stray got fucking nominated for Game of the Year, then this actually had a stronger chance of winning it than I thought. This game reinvigorated my love for Half-Life and Portal. This game filled in a void that has been lingering inside me for a decade. The longest video I have on my channel goes to this game. It was going to be close to an hour and a half, but it was honestly just, you know, Naruto filler of just rambling and praising. I had to trim it down. So I've honestly said enough about this game. There's no more praise I can give it. But out of all these games, I honestly think this is the one you should try out the most. This is not a mod. This isn't a mod. This is one of the best games of 2022. And it's honestly so surprising that if it weren't for the next 2 games, this would have been my number 1 game of this year. Alright, number 2. God of War Ragnarok. Somehow they managed to do God of War 2018 but better, even while Corey Barlog stepped away and Eric Williams had to step in. The same magic was there, but more. The combat was top notch, there were more enemies and animations etc. than the last game, and this was easily the best story-driven game of 2022, no questions asked. The motion capture cutscenes were some of the best we have ever seen, and the whole cast did a tremendous job at making this game feel like a movie. And without a doubt, this was one of the best looking games. Graphically, this game blew it out of the park. And this could very well be one of the best God of War games I have ever played. And I am so excited to see what they do next. Now, on to numero uno, the best game of 2022. I'm not going to leave you hanging. Here it bloody is. Number 1. It's no surprise at all, really. As soon as I played through this game, I knew it was going to be the benchmark for what an open world experience should look like from here on out. One of the standout features is its incredibly immersive and expansive open world. It's set in a beautifully detailed fantasy environment. The game allows players to explore a variety of locations such as forest, caves, ruins, and castles without holding the player's hand along the way. There is no set path to go on, and the world is filled with secrets and hidden areas to discover, making it a joy to explore and encourages players to delve deeper into the game. FromSoft is known for its challenging but extremely rewarding gameplay, and this game just does it better. Just does it better. If you're struggling in one area, you can literally turn around and go somewhere else. There's not one part. Like, this is FromSoft's first open world game. I do not know how they perfected it like this on their first go. And it was just so visually impressive. I was just in awe, and still in awe with how visually stunning this world is. Each location is wildly different, and the game's soundtrack is also noteworthy, with a beautiful score that adds to the game's atmosphere and immersion. This by far had the best soundtrack of 2022 as well. And this is one of the most replayable single-player experiences of all time, and you have the same level of wonder among every playthrough. It never fails to shock me. Well guys, that is the end of this video. I hope you agree with me, but if you don't, please leave your top 20 games in the description below, or even just top 10 or top 5 or top 3. What do you disagree with me about? Is your list similar to mine, or do you think Tiny Tina's Wonderland doesn't deserve to be here? Anyway, thanks heaps. Be sure to like and subscribe if you liked this video, if you want to see more, and I will catch you in the next episode. As always, stay safe, stay sexy, stay humble. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Suck your nipple.